This is a review of the BDK SLR Digital Camera Battery Grip. It's designed for use with the Canon 7D. You can see here from the box that it was pretty well damaged by the United States Postal Service. Inside the box you'll find the camera battery pack itself, which fortunately looks like it wasn't damaged by the reckless handling of the Postal Service. There's a warranty card and an instruction manual, but unless you can speak Mandarin, it's not going to be much help to you. The entire manual is in Chinese. There's some good graphic diagrams with 21 things pointed out for your attention to learn how to use, but since I don't speak the language, I'm going to have to learn this by just trying it. I'm going to point out there is a nice rubberized grip on the side here and on the bottom, all the way around to the other side, so that gives you a good gripping surface. The contacts did come protected with this cover on them, and there's a screw that will allow it to screw into the bottom of the camera to be able to be held firmly in place. The screw to tighten it up using this wheel, it's on both sides. Light switch here that you push over, and this pops up, and this gives you access to the battery compartment. The battery compartment is in here, held by these two clips. It pops out, and you can see that you can use in this batteries to put in here, or you can use two lithium cells. Here you can see the battery compartment. I removed the battery holder by moving these little clips back. The battery holder will hold 6 AA batteries. Here I have rechargeable in-loop batteries in there. I'm going to try those. In addition, it's designed to use the standard Canon lithium batteries. I only have one here, but I wanted to show you it does fit in there, and you can really just stick it in there like this, press that little lever to the side across, it pops into place, and it now closes over and holds it securely in place, and then you place the second one in. Basically, the intent of this grip is to double the shooting time of your camera, especially if you're using a lot of flashes, for example, or taking a lot of photographs like at a wedding. These are spring loaded. You can see down in the bottom down there some springs that will pop the batteries out. If I pull this aside, you can see the battery lift out. It allows me to pull it out. Now that I have that out, I can take this, take the contact portion, stick in first, and I need to go over here and pull back this other side. Excuse my arm. And now I've got that in there. I can insert this in there and snap that in, and now it's powered by 6 AA batteries. This extension goes into where the battery would normally mount, and these pins contact the inside of the camera. What you want to do is remove this when you're ready to use it. Save this, because anytime you're not using this, you better put these on because you don't want to bend those pins. You open up this compartment. You notice I've already removed the battery. You can see one of those springs down in here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to have to remove this lid, and you'll see a little bitty slide right here, a little switch. It's a little small, I know. If you take that switch and push it over, this door will come off of the camera. Do not lose it. And that will allow this piece here to fit inside the camera. So you have this ready to go. You simply insert this in there, slowly slide it together, and as it engages, you would use this thumb wheel to tighten the battery pack onto the bottom of the camera. Now you can see how nicely that fit into place. It's solidly mounted and held into place by that screw, and if you look all the way around, you can see it's a good fit. You'll also see that this rubber texture matches the original texture that's on the camera. I do want to point out that it does extend the length of the camera quite a bit. You can see that's about 2 inches. It makes the camera also much heavier. I've got 6 AA batteries in there, or like I said, you can use 2 Canon lithium batteries. It does give you a good gripping surface for a hand grip to hold on the bottom, and I'll show that in a second. I want to point out that here on the battery pack, you'll see this switch here that says on and off. That's to turn off the functionality of these buttons here and these buttons here. In the off position, they're completely inactive, and that's good because if you're not used to using them, you're going to be bumping them quite often and changing settings on your camera. But if you want to use them, you turn it on, and basically this duplicates the functionality of some of the buttons across the top of the camera. For example, right here, if this is on, this is a shutter button, and you can take a picture simply by pressing this button, and you heard the camera take a picture. This next one here is the multifunction button, and this is the main dial, which allows you to switch settings on the camera without going to the top of the camera. In addition, on the back side of the camera here, in this corner, you'll see 3 more buttons that are activated by that switch. One of them is the autofocus on. The other one is the AE lock, or auto exposure lock. It also acts as the reduce button. When you want to look at a picture, it reduces it. And this is the autofocus point, which determines your autofocus pattern that you're using on the camera. It's also the magnify button. To give you an example of that, if I come over here and just open a picture I just took, for example, I can push the zoom in button and zoom in, and you see the picture on the back of the camera changing, and as I can push this, I can zoom back out. In addition, because these buttons are active, I can now press the menu button, and instead of using the thumb wheel at the top here, I can use the one here on the bottom, and you can see that I'm scrolling across the menu using that little thumb wheel. I have to tell you, the thumb wheel action doesn't feel quite as high quality as it does on top of the Canon, but it works. For those people who aren't used to using these types of controls, because you're holding the camera down here, it is sometimes easy to bump. That's why you have the off switch to simply turn it off, and now it no longer works. In addition, even while it's on, the top buttons still work fine. So basically you have dual controls, top and bottom, when it's turned on. The normal stance to hold the camera, and you'd raise it up to your face to look through the lens. The camera is quite a bit heavier, and you may want to grasp it like this. Gives you a nice gripping base to stabilize the camera, so you can use it like so. It does add quite a bit of weight. I want to warn you about that. And it also acts as a handle that you can carry it by like this. It is quite securely held in place by this screw here that goes in the base, and on the bottom of the camera is an extra tripod mount, so if in case you want to use a tripod, it's always there. In addition, there's a nice place here to install a lanyard, so you can put it around your wrist and stabilize it. I mean, you're looking at a lot of money, you don't want to be dropping it. So the lanyard, to me, either a neck lanyard or a wrist lanyard, is always helpful. You can see I've got this one on here all the time. I just want to give you the different views of the camera. This is the left side. This is the front with the battery pack extension on. You can see the nice gripping surface. This is the right side with the extra controls. And then again, this is the back side right here. The bottom side, and you can see it's also rubberized and has a grid on it for the tripod to lock in, and a case here, or a little place here to put in a lanyard to hold it up with. Overall, I have to tell you, I'm pretty impressed. I was disappointed when I got the box. It was crushed, but everything works perfectly. It's in good shape. I put rechargeable batteries in the battery compartment. They're working fine. I like the fact you have these duplicate controls if you want to use them, and it's got a great gripping surface. To be honest with you, if I handed this to somebody who didn't own a Camera 7D camera, they would think it came with the camera. It looks that close to being factory. The rubberized texture matches the camera. It fits well, it works well. I've got to give it 5 stars. This review was done by JJ CEO. I'd like to tell you I received a sample for test and evaluation, and I promise to give a fair and honest review.